Hello, my name is Sally, and this is the introduction to the Better Balance series. In this short introduction, I'm going to go through the personal tests that we can each do to see how best to approach this balance series, whether seated, standing with a chair, or completely without a chair. I'm also going to cover some of the things that can cause us to lose our balance and contribute to loss of balance, but also the exercises that we'll do in order to really improve, strengthen and stabilize our balance. Excellent. So to start with, balance is so important because it enables us to engage with the world around us with confidence, with greater ease and stability. When we don't feel so confident with our balance, we can end up reducing the world around us so that we don't have to go to places that can leave us feeling a little bit too vulnerable and unsteady on our feet. The issue with that is that it can end up reducing the amount of movement that our body has. And so the muscles can get weaker as a result. And also things like our social interaction can suffer if we're not seeing the same groups of friends, going to the same places, which is really, really important for our mental and social well-being. So, how do we deal with this? Well, the really good news is that your balance can be positively impacted whatever your age. The British Chief Medical Officer recommends that we do strength and balance exercises twice a week. That actually can include shopping and gardening. The kind of shopping and gardening where you're carrying heavy bags or you're doing a lot of movement and carrying things. But that all counts. The other thing that I want you to know is that a study done in 2008 proved that physical activity increased strength in octogenarians by 200%. That's your muscle strength in your 80s improved by 200% through doing physical activity. So there is no better time to get going than now. Okay, so in terms of balance, the way that we can end up sort of like affecting our balance is through a number of different things. Some are physical and some are environmental. So physically, our balance can suffer if we have been injured or we've suffered an illness that has basically taken us off of our feet and seen as being active for a period of time. We suffer a loss of muscle mass. And the same can happen as we get older. Our muscle mass does decrease. And that can leave us physically weaker in certain areas of our body. The other thing is medication. It could be a type of medication or a mixture of medications that affects our balance. Poor vision and hearing can affect our balance. So no better time than today to book that eye test or hearing test to make sure that if you need to wear prescription glasses or contacts, that they are the one that you need. Other things can be like low blood pressure. So if you're sat down and then you come to stand up quickly, we know that dizziness can throw off our balance. Even things like incontinence, especially at night, when we need to rush to the loo and we get up and we can move too quickly and end up just disorientated and losing our balance. Which brings us on to the environmental factors. It's well worth doing a scan of our homes to see where trip hazards lie. Most falls tend to happen in the home. So make sure your floor surfaces are nice and clear, including those table legs, which we are so prone to like clipping, aren't we, with our feet. Pets are another thing that can affect, because they're a moving object, cats and dogs and things like that. So we need to be really mindful of where things are on the floor. Lighting. Making sure that we've got really good lighting in the house so there's no sort of, dark corners and shadows cast so that we're just, again, not seeing very well. And even at night, making sure that we've got night lights or things like that to navigate ourselves safely to the bathroom. And even things like footwear can have an impact. Those days of wearing high-heeled shoes, for example, can really throw off our balance. So it's making sure that we've got good footwear that makes us feel very stable. And even being aware of new environments. Please don't let it put you off going to new environments, but it's just doing that scan for where are the objects in the room and where I am in relation to them. And so all those things can just be, we just need to be mindful of physically and environmentally in terms of our balance. Or things that can throw off our balance. Now, in terms of the exercises that we can do, they can make such a big difference. One of my wonderful students, I remember saying to me after she'd been working with me for probably about a year, did trip on a pavement. If we don't trip at home, it tends to be out walking just on a sidewalk or a pavement. And she caught her foot on the edge of the pavement and she said, I honestly thought I was a goner. I thought I was just going to go straight down. But she said she didn't. And she was so shocked. And the reason is that because we'd been working together on a regular basis, her agility, which was like her reaction time to put her foot out to stop herself from falling, plus the fact that she had good, strong, stable ankle, knee and hip joint, meant that she didn't go anywhere. So these are the exercises that we are going to incorporate into our routines on a regular basis so that we too stay on top. Okay, so how is it that you best approach these exercises from a seated, standing with a chair, or completely free of a chair? Okay, so we're going to do a little test and I'm going to pull the chair in front of me or to the side of me to show you what we're doing. So just pause the video now and grab a chair if you need one. Well, you do need one. So the chair is going to be in front of me and I'm just going to time myself 10 seconds and I can just count to 10 in my head or have a stopwatch, and I'm going to hold onto the chair and I'm going to put my feet together. Now this is all to see how stable or unstable do I feel in this position for a short period of time. It's going to help determine whether I need to approach these exercises at present seated, build up the muscles to then come and stand with the chair. Okay, so even if today you need to be seated, don't worry, it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be staying there forever. Okay, so we're standing tall, my feet are next to one another. I'm just tucking my tailbone under, always protects the lower back area. I'm relaxing my shoulders, gripping the chair, and I'm going to count to 10 seconds. So join me now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. If you need to sit down at this point, please do, and that's okay. You know you're going to approach these exercises from a seated position. If that was okay for you, what I'd like you to do is just either reduce the amount of grip that you have on the chair, maybe by having just a couple of fingers on there, or even hovering your hand above the chair, but keeping your feet in the same position. I'm going to count to 10 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, hold on to the chair if you need to. If again, within that 10 seconds, you felt a little bit too vulnerable, a little bit too wobbly, please approach these exercises from a seated position. Okay. The next stage, if you felt, okay, I felt reasonable in that was okay. I want you to stagger your feet. Okay, so they're slightly staggered. Holding onto the chair, here we go with our next 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do have a breath if you need one. Okay, we're going to do the same again with our hands. Leave your feet as they are, hover the fingers off or just have a couple on there. Let's count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, if that was enough for you, in terms of that's probably about my limit there, then I would approach these exercises holding onto a chair, having the chair right there with you and holding it throughout. If again you felt like, no, that was okay, I was all right with that, we're going to go on to the third and final approach. So this time we're going to do the tightrope walk. So this is where your heel connects with your toes, okay? So heel connecting to the toes. So you've got a very narrow stance here and a very narrow foundation. Okay, I feel the difference with this one. So trying to keep your head lifted, not looking down at your feet. Hold on to that chair. Tailbone is slightly tucked under. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent, well done. Okay, if that's enough, just shake your feet out and then just watching the last section, we're going to do the same stance but with no hands, okay? So the chair is there if you need it. Remove the fingers or just a couple of fingers. You will feel those ankles working really hard, which is excellent. Woo! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Don't worry if you did feel wobbly in that. It's a really challenging stance, which is what we're going to be doing in some of these videos, okay? So it just gives you a feel for where you're at, whether you need to use the chair, sit on the chair, or go without the chair, or even just keep it to one side, okay? Excellent work. So, finally, the benefits that you are going to gain through doing balance and strength exercises are phenomenal. The areas we're going to be targeting are strengthening our feet, our ankle joints, our knees, our hips, even our wrists and our shoulders, okay? All those areas, all those joints and all the muscles around them. And what this is going to do is a number of different things. One is that you are going to feel, you're going to gain better joint health, okay, which is so important because it's potentially preventing conditions like osteoarthritis, okay, that you're going to have improved posture. Balance basically maintains a better skeletal position, reducing strain on muscles and joints and preventing back, neck and hip pain. I think that's a massive one. So back, neck and hip pain can be reduced through balance exercises where we're improving our posture, okay? It can even be through things like I mentioned earlier about agility. So we're going to do exercises that are going to involve us having to use coordination. And we want to make sure that we have quicker response times. This isn't about shooting at the starting blocks, but we want to have quick reactive movements so that we again stay stable on our feet. So we're going to be looking at strength, we're going to be looking at flexibility, and we're going to be looking a little at speed. It will all be good. And the other thing that doing balance exercises helps us with is actually improving our sense of like where we are at any given time. So it just means that we will have better coordination, better focus, better control, and even better concentration. So it's not just the physical aspects, it's also those mental ones as well. Working together helps to improve your balance. So, enough said. Let's get going into the Better Balance series. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.